right, we are back. Welcome back to Pro Bikini News Network. I'm your host, John Elgandy, and in today's video, we're going to be recapping the USA's overall winner, and we're going to be talking about the Vancouver Pro and talking about that top five, and we're going to be previewing the Tampa Pro. But before I get started with everything, I just wanted to give my condolences to Lorena Blanco from Spain. Unfortunately, she passed away this weekend in her home, and she's been competing since 2021, and she turned pro at the Europa in 2023, winning the overall title there. And she's been competing for 2 years. She's placed very well, and she's been getting better. She was getting better every year she was competing, and she took a second place, I believe, this year, and she was just right there to qualify for the limit. I even told her and her husband, you keep going, you're right there, you're doing very well, you're getting used to the criteria here, and my dream is for her to see you on the Olympia stage. I think that's something that you've worked so hard for and you've done for many years, and that's honestly a accomplishment that I would have loved her to see her do. But the whole backlash from the community, I just gotta say, it's just disgusting that people would say things. And when we're in this sport, we take risks. We understand what we're getting into for the most part, and we understand that getting your blood work done, obviously that's something I always keep emphasizing. Understand the risk you're taking and take into considerations and knowing when to stop. But you can only do so much. But listen, I'm not trying to speculate anything. I did read some of the articles about in Spanish that they said from Spain, and it's not very clear how she died. They said heart failure, but I mean, I just think it's just something. Oh my God, I just think the community just needs to be better at giving respect to the family, someone's daughter, someone's wife, that they're gone, and unfortunately it's gonna how that affects them. But I'm gonna get into our next topic. I've always, because I was really someone who I was talking to, and I just wanted to get that off. And it just, because I feel like it's sad when you see someone that you would hope to see them accomplish something, and then now they're no longer with us. And I'm wishing all the best for her family and everyone that was close to her, and hope God bless Emilio Martinez in Spain, for taking care of them and saying that they're always welcome to their home and being there for them. But yeah. So on to our next topic. I'm going to talk about the USA's overall winner. But before I get into anything with the USA's, I just kind of wanted to say that Pro Fitness photos, they do amazing photos. They look nice, they look HD, but the production and the lighting here at the show was just so bad. It made everyone's tan look dark and flat and kind of washed out. But honestly, the overall winner here, Emmy, looked phenomenal. But I also wanted to give a couple of shout outs to another couple people. Corey Hagman, she got her first ever pro card and as a coach, so with Tate Donnelly. So congratulations to her. She was class G, I believe. Yes. That's something I'm very happy to see. And shout out to Corey. You've done a great job. You're awesome. You're an educator. You're a mentor. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm hoping to see you back on stage as well. Sophie Everts, she turned pro. I know she's been doing this for some time, and she nailed it. Won her class. Now she's pro. And Amy Delgado, she got two more new pros, Ash and Marie Lim. So now that makes her have three. But the overall winner was Shelby Pierce's athlete. I think this is Shelby Pierce's second time winning an overall at national show. She won her first one with Ali 2 years ago at Junior Nats, and now this one with Emmy Schwartz. But let's talk about Emmy, because she's now the next Miss USA winner. So I'll put up a stage photo of her. So this is Emmy. Like I said, beautiful girl. I love the hair, love the suit, her whole look. This lighting it's too dark. Unfortunately, if there was a much better, clear photo and better backdrop, it would have been so better. From what I heard was when the screen went blacked out, it was the perfect time. And maybe they should do that instead of this darkish thing with the whole light. Listen, they have no control of the production anyways. Muscle Contest has ties with the Olympia, so people like Battle Up or Gilco, they would not be allowed, and certain promoters don't allow certain people to come with them to do videography or do anything with production. But she has a really complete look. She was class C, I believe. Yes. I mean, the balance from upper lower body is really good. How her shoulders line up, how she's posing, this is very good. Everything's nice, everything's full. She came in on point. I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do in the pro league. Now, I just do think that she could maybe tweak this a little bit. Maybe could use a little more upper glute right here, but this was pretty much spot on. When I looked at the other girls in the class and even in their overall, I was kind of feeling like they were kind of leaning towards her as a winner because of how she was balanced out with her body. There's no parts that you're looking at that like they stand out more than the other. You're not like her arms are too big where and it takes away from a lower body, or her lower body's too big and it takes away from upper body. But great look on her, and congratulations to her, and welcome to the pro league. So I'm actually going to talk about her back pose. I mean, this is a great look. Her hair's good. Nice suit from Toxic Angels. The suit cuts great on her. She has shorter glute inserts, so she kind of makes me have this like Ashley Kay, Jordan Brandon kind of a type of physique. And I think it's actually a really great look. It's an attainable look. Balance from, glutes to hamstrings. Tie-ins are on point. How this poses is really good on her. How her width, it really helps accentuate her shape in her waist. Everything is really spot on for her. And I think she could probably qualify for the Olympia this year if she wanted to, or if she tries to do something for after the cutoff season, after the cutoff to qualify. I definitely think she could be someone that goes into a show, does very well. I mean, I'm excited to see what she can do. I mean, I always think of the USA winners in the past. Before her, I always thought of in the past, most of the girls wouldn't do too much. I always looked at Jamie Del Angel back in 2014, like she could have been a Miss Olympia. And in her first Olympia in 2015, she got 10th. And then the next year she dropped to 14th, and then she stopped competing. And I remember that was, what's his name? Zero Gravity. That was his first Olympian that he ever had. And now he's got Angie Miranda, the overall for Fit Model. And I'm hoping that she can do something great that Jamie Del Angel could have not have done. But I honestly think that this girl, whatever she does going here on out, Emmy, I think she's got a bright future ahead of her, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does at the next level. But ever since 2019, every girl up into 2019, they didn't last very long. I remember the 2019 overall winner did one pro show and then she just stopped competing. And the only girl in that 2019 USA's class was Maya Astabe. She was the only one out of I think there was if I remember carefully, there was 220 total girls. Only one that got to Olympia. And Maya Astabe didn't win her class, and she didn't have a pro win, but she qualified on points in that 2020 Olympia. So, I think Shelby is going to get an A team sooner or later. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she does many years from now with all her athletes, especially Allie, having 2 pro wins under her. So I'm hoping to see everybody. And, Danny this year, we talked about her and how beautiful and phenomenal she looks and how she's going to keep improving. And I'm looking to see what she's going to do headed forward. But let's recap Vancouver. So I saw some things, the girl that won the overall and turned pro, Kyla, I think her name is. A lot of people are saying that she should have won and she had the best physique, and, they favor Ashley and this and that. It's like, no, if you just look at girls, and this is why I do these recaps a lot, because I'm going to show you things that's lacking on somebody. I will point to something that they don't have. Then you can look at someone who's 5th place and they say, here's 5th place and here's why she was 5th and here's what 2nd, 3rd, or 1st place had ahead of her. Someone has something that they don't, and someone has a more complete look that someone does not. So let's talk about our 5th place girl from Vancouver. It was, I think her name is Lindsay. Had a purple suit. Here we go. Here's Lindsay. I think she has a beautiful look, hair, tan's good. I think she could just adjust this front pose because it feels like she's kind of leaning a bit right here. She could also kind of twist this. So I think that's another issue. Her arms are big. That's the first thing I'm looking at when I'm looking at her is just her shoulders. It takes away from the rest of her shape. Another thing is, keeping your waistline in check is, it kind of feels like she's doing that to kind of make it look like she not has distension. A couple posing tweaks here and there that could be fixed. But I definitely think she has a beautiful look. It just has to fix some of the posing and just coming in fuller. And and in her lower body, because it feels like she's too upper body dominant to her lower body. So let me show you what she looks like in the back. And again, I'm not at the show. I wasn't there live, so I could have a different perspective. Let's see. No. Is this one? Yes. Yeah, in the back, you could tell like she's great shape in the back, but just needs more glutes. She has shorter glute inserts. She could be a little more tighter in her tie-ins. I don't know if it's just the angle of this photo, but I feel like her foot position, it's kind of like far apart. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's kind of hard to tell from this angle. You know, I'm better if it's straight on, I can tell. But definitely looking at this, she just needs more glutes. She's a taller girl. She's longer legs. So that's something she just has to work on filling out. But I like her hair, how it goes kind of down here. I think it just could cover her connectors a little better. So you're not seeing that. So it's not like see-through. But right look just needs more, you know, more to her lower body to balance out with her upper body. Right, next up we have Demi. I think I've seen her before. She did didn't she do the Arnold? She did the Arnold UK, I believe, a couple years ago. So this is Demi. Again, I kind of feel like this kind of thing you see more like you're looking at arms first. Like this front pose is really good on her. I really think she has a great look. Small waist, you know, hair's glam suit is fine. I don't know if it's lighting. Like I said, you know, you see some like dark areas here. It could just be like maybe it's easy. Yeah, I think it's a tan because you see some dark here. You see some light. The tan could just kind of looks a little messy on like her limbs, but beautiful look. Love the front pose. You could see bicep veins. It just needs to like not come into where you like your arms and your shoulders overtake your body, and it kind of looks like that's what I'm looking at first. You know, her glute projection from the front's really good, but when I'm going to show you something from the back, that's what she's lacking. Go here. No. Yeah. I mean, she's got amazing genetics, you know, long glute insertions, but just needs more projection in the back. The suit cut just needs better coverage. I feel like it's too thin up here. Shoulders are good. Hair is good. It could be, you know, like I said, it could be a little more covering. Very beautiful shape. Got a great look, but I just feel like, yeah, it just needs to match her front to her back, and that's it. But it's amazing physique, and it has a lot of potential, but just needs to, you know, come in better, more fuller, more tighter, but just needs to match from front to back. You're not going to win being 100% on one side and, you know, 50-60% on the other side. And it kind of feels like that's what with her. And I know it sounds very harsh saying that, but kind of amazing physique, has amazing potential. Tie-ins are good, just needs, you know, more just to balance her physique out. And that's kind of the thing that you're seeing with this show, is that people's balance is lacking. They just need to find ways, or they like coming in too hard, too conditioned, or just, you know, a little too soft. Here I feel like she's just kind of like a little too soft here. Right, let's get to our new pro, Kyla. I think it was a lighting here. I'm hoping this was a purple suit, not the pink suit, because blonde hair, pink suit takes away from look. I think she has an amazing structure. You know, the thing is, her obliques kind of like, that's where you're looking at first, but she's vascular. You can see it right here. She's like hard, and she's like, you can see some like quad split right there. I think that's kind of what knocked her down. Got an amazing look. I mean, hey, for your debut to get third, and you know, her and Maxine were rotating to challenge Ashley, and I mean, to do this very well, I would fix this suit top, because I feel like it just doesn't fit right on her. I would say for her, just needs a little more shoulders, just needs to fill out up here, honestly. But then again, you know, you go from in the same day, you know, pro qualifier and then pro show. So I mean, I think she got too lean and too conditioned in the front. That's kind of what I feel like really hurt her. But it would have been awesome to see how well she would have done if she had taken second. I don't think anyone would have been upset if she was second at all. But congratulations to her. She has got a great look, and I think just needs to, yeah, get more experience in the pro league. She's from Canada, by the way. All right. Let's do the back. Here we go. So from the back, it feels like her glutes are overpowering her legs. That's kind of one thing I'm seeing. I feel like she was just a little soft from some of the snippets and videos I saw that they had of them. When she was walking back, you kind of saw her jiggle. So it kind of felt like she was like soft in the back and like conditioned and hard in the front. Got a great look. I love her hair. It's right length. Like I said, I do feel like the suit cut could be a little. The suit's fine, but I just feel like she just needs to find a way to balance her legs out to her quad. Just needs to fill out. That's one thing. Because you could see the quad split in the front. Just needs to fill this out, grow her legs more. She is on the taller side. I think Ashley's 5'5". She looks about 5'6", 5'7" when I saw them standing next to each other. So just needs to fill out. Come a little more tighter. Don't have your glutes overpower. Shape's great. Just needs to fill out. I mean, you see a lot of that with taller girls a lot. All right. Next up, we have Maxine. She's got a beautiful look. I love this. I love her shape. One thing about Maxine is that I feel like when she grew more, I mean, she came in much better than last year, but she's got to keep in mind of her waistline. She's just got to bring that in right there. She's like, this is brought from what I saw from last year. It's brought back more. Makeup's really good on her. I just feel like she could tone down the red because it feels like I'm looking at her red lips before everything else. The red suit's fine. I'm used to seeing her in blue. But great look on her, great pose on her. I just think that she just needs to fix a few couple details here and there. I feel like she's great balance from the front. And I do think I did see her post what she said about her feedback. Let me get this up. So she said that everything was pretty much good. Presentation, her shoulder waist ratio was good. Her front shot was perfect. Like I said, her front is good, but they just need more glute density in her back. So yeah, let me get to the picture again. Okay. Here we go. Here we go, right here. But yeah, I do think that this is a good look on her. I just feel like I'm going to get to the back pose first. I'm going to show you. Share screen. So she's not fully posed in this, but I do know she's fully posed. I mean, she brought her glutes up more, but like the glute density between her and Ashley, you can really tell that's the reason why she may have placed the way she did. Get here. Wait. So when I'm looking at this kind of when I'm looking at her, I love their hair. I love, this, everything looked good, but I feel like the glute density is the only thing that separated her from first and second, and kind of in the front, it's just her waist. If you're looking at the difference between, her and Ashley, you're going to definitely see who's more balanced and who's more like complete as a whole. But she's got a great look, and I definitely think she has a lot of potential going in the future. But I think this is it for her in her season. So we'll see what she does next year, and hopefully brings that back up. And there's always room for improvement, and there's always time to get better. And I definitely think she's getting better every year. X out of that. All righty. So then let's get to Ashley. All right. So here's Ashley. This is like more brighter green suit that she's had before. This is not, I don't think this is one thing about Ashley, and I always get on her, is that her front pose is sometimes the one thing that hurts her from doing very well and getting highly in this. But I feel like she could. But I even when I even had her on just recently, I'm gonna actually have that episode up. When I had her on, she competes so that she tries different things out, tries different peaks out, and I feel like in Vancouver going into the show, I mean, she wanted to do something where it's like, let's see what I can do and see about that, how I can improve going forward. So this is her last show and before going to the Olympia. So it's going to be a much different season where she's not going to be competing almost every single month, almost every single week. And maybe that's what she needs if she was going to go for the title. I mean, from what I think right here, I do think that she just needs to fix this front pose a bit. And adjust some things. This was a good look for her to win. It's not her best, but the balance from her upper body to lower body is probably the best in the whole and probably the best out of all the 6 girls here. So that's definitely what carried her over. I mean, it's hard to beat someone who's bounced from that to back, and especially when she's in the back. Her front's not always going to be the best. It's just if she could just find a way just to like nail it, then I definitely think that she's gonna win everything that she does. But it's just sometimes if her front's off, that's what hurts her. And also she comes in, her last, what was it, the World Classic, she looked a little flat, but it was just enough because she was more balanced. If one thing is enough to carry you over and while you're posing very well, it's good enough for her to win. But do I think she deserved the win? Absolutely, yes. I feel like she had the best balance out of all the girls, and she was not like, there's not a part where I look at Ashley and I'm like, this part stands out or this is bad, or you don't look at her like it's not attainable to look, it's not realistic or attainable to look like her. It's a physique that people can go and say that's something I would love to look like, or I want to have that one part on my body. And that's something that I think why Ashley does very well and exceeds in. Let's go to her back. I mean, the glute density on Ashley's probably one of the best, but I do feel like she could use a little more protection. I know this pose is not really fully posed, where she's almost trying to get into it, but hair is good. Wish it would kind of cover her back connector better, making sure it's not covering her shoulders. I love when her hair is wavy. One of my favorite Ashley looks was probably 21 Olympia when her hair was straight, and then 23 Japan Pro. Like, I honestly looked at that like that could have probably won, and that would have done very well, but that was years ago. But the balance, her glutes to tines, it's there. Everything is like right there for her to do very well. And hey, you know what? I mean, this season may be different, and we'll see what goes into Olympia. I mean, I even told her one of the things I would love to hear, Bob say if she somehow wins the title again is, and once again, that would be the best thing I've ever heard. But yeah, I mean, that's our Vancouver recap. And by the way, there's only one person that's ever lost a title and got it back many years later. Linda Murray. Anyway, so Tampa Pro. Wow, this is one of the biggest shows of the year. I mean, you're comparing it to like New York, Pittsburgh. Any girl that has ever won the show, they wind up going to the Olympia and doing very well, and they get to the top 10. They're always like a contender for the title. And I definitely think anybody who's going to do the show is going to say, I'm a contender to win the title. And we have some girls that are already Olympia qualified that are doing the show. And I bet the only thing that they're trying to do is to get feedback going further and seeing what they can do to adjust heading into the Olympia. Because I definitely see someone who's in this as a top 10 contender. Amy's won the show, Ashlyn, Jen, Laura Lee, Marine, India Paulino, Courtney King. What's her name? Curly haired girl, Michelle Slavia, and then Issa. We've had 6 girls that have won the Olympia and won Arnold Classic titles in this show. And I definitely think that you're going to be someone who's going to be looked at and you're going to make yourself memorable. And I said this with so many girls, as of today, Marine Blanquisco had announced that she's doing the Olympia, and, she's on the list. And now there's 62 girls on the Olympia stage. And so it's like with so many people, it's going to be hard to like get through some of these girls. So it's like what I said was this, you got to be memorable. You better get in front of these top judges and make yourself memorable. And so that you present yourself and you're not going to get lost in the lineup. And I definitely think someone that does very well here, they're going to be very memorable, but what in my words, in my opinion, the word memorable is like someone who's balanced, someone who's peaked right, someone who all like overall look for the bikini criteria, that's the one who's going to win. And Tyler's here. He's going to be judging. And don't worry, we'll get a video even after Tyler, so I can make sure that my feedback is on point and, see what some of these girls can take and learn from here and do better going forward. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So, let's talk about our Tampa Pro. We have a list. Let me get to my page. And I pulled up some names that I'm going to have everyone want to look at. Okay, here we go. So we got 26 girls right here. We have Romina, Holly, who's placed top 5, Kate Carroll, Taylor Crowell, she's Olympic qualified. Kate Carroll's Olympic qualified. Jess is a previous Olympian. Romina's obviously a previous Olympian, top 3, 2017. Marie Eve, she's a previous Olympian. Jessica Machado, she's done pretty well in a couple past shows. She's been like, I think, 2nd, 3rd, 4th in US shows. Nay, Allie Prince is doing her pro debut, so we're going to talk about her. Jewel, she's done well, and she took 2nd and 5th in US shows. And Marissa Wu and Jody Yunker. So let's talk about some of our girls. So let's go to Romina. So unfortunately this year, her husband had passed away, and I know it's very hard on her, to do this, especially in the season. And she was getting better every show, and her last show, I think she took fifth place, yeah. And she's getting back into, I think, what was Charlotte? I almost say Caroline. Charlotte, she took 3rd, so she's getting back into the top spots. She's been competing for almost 10 years now, and she's been always a consistent pro, in the top 10 at the Olympia. She's won the New York Pro, I think, twice, 2018 and then 21 when she beat Ashley. And she's always been that perennial girl. But I think, was it 23, that was the first time she was outside top 10 and didn't place. But I definitely think that if Marina brings like a look, I think the biggest thing with her is nailing her conditioning. But if she does that and goes through with it, I know she's working with Mike as her new coach, and we'll see how that goes. And I definitely think if she can nail it and do very well, I definitely think she's going to be a top girl. But it's just going to be like, she's going to be our wild card, I'd say, for this whole weekend. So we'll just see how that goes. Then we have Kate Carroll. So I would say that she's our front runner to win the show. I definitely think that, she has the potential to be a top tier Olympian within a couple of years. And, she was in the second call out. So I definitely think that if she could I think she's going to be the type of girl that could place and, possibly be a dark horse at the Olympia and make it into that top 10. She's got a well-balanced physique, very well proportionate, got great stage presence. See from Chicago Pro. I mean, she's one of the best international pros in bikini right now, next to Reina and Isa Piscini, the Miss Olympia winner, because she competes here and she wins here. And there hasn't been an international pro from Europe that's won since 2022, ever since Phoebe Hagen and Evie Eskandar. So, I mean, the fact that she's from all the way from New Zealand and Oceania and she's doing very well here, it means that I definitely think she could be a contender and do very well. And like, what's her name many years ago? Katia, who was New Zealand just like her, was once a great pro. And I definitely think that she has that potential to do something great. But now here's your test. And she's going to do a couple more shows after this just to get feedback and keep going and get a good game plan going into the Olympia. So I definitely think this is something she has nothing to lose. And I definitely think that she could be the girl to win this whole show. All right. So next we have Taylor Crowell. So she's already Olympia qualified. She qualified back at the Atlantic Coast. So she hasn't been on stage in a while. I definitely think that this is a good test for her to see how she goes. Her updates have been pretty good. But like I said, we'll see how it goes on stage. I think she has a great front pose. It's just going to be like if she can nail it from back. Let's see. Let me get Atlantic Coast. I know she had a video from one of them. But she's someone to be looking out for. I could see her possibly like, I could see her maybe like third, fourth, fifth here. But it's just going to be like, I think she's an Olympian, but I think that like she could be top tier. I'd say maybe not this year, but we'll just see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'd like to be surprised. And that's not any knock on her at all. No, she works hard. I mean, it's just like you see the level of girls here. It's just going to be like really hard to go and compete against. All right. Next up, we have Jess Stolias. So she started off not so well, and then she's just gradually getting better. So she got back into the top 5. I liked her look here a lot. I liked her hair. Great poser. I just feel like she just needs to nail it. But the only thing she can control is the variable she has, which is her longer limbs and short torso. So that's something that she has to just work around, and she does very well at it. Let's see. Yeah. But I'd say Jess is one girl to be looking out for. All right. Marie Eve. So she just placed 3rd in Chicago. Did she have a video? Yeah. No. Nothing from her back. I'd say that she's one of the girls to be, a girl, possible front runner to win. I mean, she's trying to get back to the Olympia, and I definitely think that she can, definitely be in that top spot to qualify. She was close, I think, last year. I think she took 2nd in one show, and then she took 3rd at the Arnold UK. But yeah, and she has won a show in the U.S., as an international pro from Canada. So we'll see how it goes. But I definitely think that she's in that like 2nd, 3rd spot, 1st to 3rd spot. It's just going to be who nails it. I mean, Kate won Chicago. She took 3rd. So they'll definitely be like right here with each other. All right. Next up, we have Jewel. So she just took 5th, was it LA Championships? And like I said, I just feel like I said this about her. I just feel like she needs to find a way to balance her legs to her glutes, because I feel like her glutes are overpowering, and I definitely think she needs a new suit cut from her front. She just needs a new suit cut from her front, and not to come in too hard, too conditioned. That's something that you see a lot of European competitors. Okay. Go with Nay. So Nay's already Olympia qualified. She qualified back in was it November? It was the Kansas City Pro. So she's been getting better every show that she's doing, and every year that she's been competing. So I'd definitely say that she's one of the front runners to win. Possible like top 2, top 3. But you see anything from her previous show? See a lot of updates. Nothing individual. But yeah, I just think for her, it's her front pose that, she's trying to find a side to get comfortable with her front pose. And if she could just do that with her amazing physique and not come in way too tight, I definitely think that she could be someone to win this show. And, hey, she could she could take another great win and build momentum going into the Olympia. Okay. Jessica Machado. Because she doesn't want to show. No, she's never qualified, but she's been close to winning. Sometimes it's like, hit or miss with her. Like she could do very well or like kind of slip. But we'll just see how it goes for her. I definitely think she has a great look, but the thing is, she's shorter, has a shorter torso, so just balancing the physique and not being way too tight and not being way too soft. That's something I see with her sometimes. I think it's just her core and it sometimes needs work and just how she does her front pose. I think this is the last show she did. I mean, she's amazing from the back. Just think her front needs to match that. And I would get it and I would fix the suit. Just way too high on her lower back. All right. Jessica. Okay. Then we have Allie. So she just turned pro at Universe. I know she's very popular social media influencer, but she's real as it gets. I love, and I always talk great up things about Ali. You always see her like just showing how real she is, and a lot of people gave her crap, like you look like you're dying. It's like no, she's choosing to go through this. She's choosing to like die hard. You know what? Her getting 6 at junior nationals, I think that was one of the best things that's ever happened to her. Versus just putting everything into one show and making a mistake there and calling it a year. It was good that she did that and then goes into Universe and then wins her class and then turns pro. So I'm looking forward to see what she do. I think she's class E. She's about like 5'5", 5'4". So one thing about her is just she has longer legs and short glute inserts. But I think if she can come in tighter and not and it'll come in more fuller, we'll see how it goes. I definitely think this is great to do a debut against girls who are Olympians and girls in this lineup, and it's going to be a good test for her. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do. I just think, whatever happens, hey, look, this is all going to be a learning experience. You're young, you're going to cherish it. And, maybe she is top 10, whether she does well or not. Hey, you know what? I know what I need to work on. I need to come back and better. We have we have Olympia judges here. They're going to tell you what you need to do. Cause if you want to get to the Olympia stage, you're going to have to see what you have to work on. But yeah, leading up into the show, she's been, posting everything that she's been going on and, going through everyone. She's showing her journey. I mean, she looks like a totally different person in like in season versus off season. Like when I see off season, I'm like, who is that? And then I see her in season, like you look totally different. I'm excited for her. I mean, I think she could do pretty good. Do I see her in a top 5 in this show? Probably not, but I do see her somewhere landing in the top. I see her as a potential top 10. Like if I was to put her anywhere right now, I mean, I'm obviously going to do my lineup, but I'm going to say probably around like, I don't know how many if they're going to do a first call out with like 6 or 8. I could see her with like, I could see her between like 7 and 10th, maybe. Well, it just depends on who shows up peaked very well. All right. Marissa's back. She hasn't been on stage, I think, in almost 2 years. Let's see if I find anything from her last show. She took 4th. I think she was like getting 6th in some shows. I think she did like 2 European shows. I just feel like for her, it was always just her glutes just needed work. And it was just not coming in way too conditioned. But her first show back, we'll see how it goes. I do think she's working with a new coach now. So, get from, let's see. Man, it's been too long. Trying to find when she was last on stage. I could probably pull it up on NPC News. but I can see her somewhere in the top 10. Let's see, at Tampa, probably gonna go on and on. Anyways, go back, and we have Jody. So Jody brought up her whole physique from last year, and I'm really impressed with her. But I felt even for here, I felt like she was just a little too conditioned, and that's something with her. I feel like, she did bring up her upper body to match her lower body. I just feel like sometimes for her, it's always like way too conditioned, and sometimes, you know, conditioned from front and soft in the back. But this is not. It didn't look like a bad physique, honestly. If it was up to me, I think that I would have had her in that fifth place over Jess, but we'll see how she does. And she does get better and progresses every show that she does. And she obviously she's worked with a different coach, so they'll have to see how it does. I just feel like maybe for her it was just not nailing her peak at this show. Obviously, working with a new coach, you may not do very well at first, but you can't always expect we're going to nail it the first time. But it's just if she can nail her peak, I definitely could say she'll be one of the top girls in this show and definitely be someone that can be to try to qualify again. I definitely think that she has a great physique and she's brought those improvements, and she does that every year where she's adding more to her physique and going into that. It's just going to be if she can just nail the peak. We'll see how that goes. Was there anyone else? Anyone else that I see potential? Allie, Marissa, Jody. All right. So let's do top 10. Let's go here. This is tough for me to pick, but I'll go Kate, Marie, Nay, oh, this is tough. This is hard for me to pick. Jody, Taylor, Mina, Jess. This is where it gets tough. No, Jess Dawes. I'll go I'm gonna go Allie. And then I'm gonna go Jess Machado. And then Marissa. I mean, it's hard to pick a clear winner. It's hard to pick. I'd say top 3. I say most likely as our front runners to win. I mean, Nay could win it. Kate could win it. Marie Eve. I think those top 4 These top five are these top six is like all Olympians. 7 of them actually are Olympians. So that's going to be like very interesting to see. But I do think it's just going to be who nails it. If I'm going off their previous show, that's all I can remember. So let's see who brings those improvements. We'll see who nails it. All right. So that's today's episode. Gonna have another guest on Friday. Gonna have another episode edited and uploaded probably by then, and have a Q&A coming up. So please let me know what you guys want to talk about, anything you want to discuss about. I'll answer them, doing my part to give you my experience in my coaching, in my career, and everything that I've learned up until this point. So I can definitely share and relate with you guys. If you guys like the video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.